needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome to the show. Some news just came across the last few minutes about St. Louis University basketball. They have received another commit out of the portal. This is Kobe Johnson, 6'4" guard, played 3 seasons at West Virginia. He was a starter for them. Numbers are not spectacular, but give him some time in Josh Schertz's offense, and things could change pretty quickly. 6 points per game, 2.2 assists, 2 rebounds per game, shot 43% from the field, about 28% from three, 79% free throw shooter. He's thought to be a very good defender. 6'4" guard Kobe Johnson just tweeted 10 minutes ago, next chapter, St. Louis University, with a picture of himself in the SLU locker room wearing a number 8 SLU jersey. Looks pretty good. And then, of course, he's got a picture with it looks like his mom next to him. Oh, isn't that great? How about that? So happy Mother's Day to her. Happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. Look, I want to start with some good news. I know this has been a rough go for Cardinals fans. There'll be a lot of Cardinals talk on the show here on Sports on a Sunday morning. Ollie Marmol, scheduled to join us in 8 minutes, has not been fun for him or for you. And, look, it's a beautiful day outside, gorgeous day. We're going to be with our moms today, or thinking about our moms today, and certainly a big family day. And it is a beautiful day in St. Louis. We're going to go on with our lives, but it's understandable that it's painful to watch the Cardinals. Cardinals are part of our lives. I mean, whether you grew up here or not, if you've been latched to the Cardinals at some point during your life, and we get a lot of listeners to this show and to Cardinal baseball from around the country, this is no fun. And it is understandable the various reactions that we're going to get from it. Whether you're angry or you're sad or you're just frustrated, there's a lot going on out there right now. And I totally get it. I grew up here. I grew up a Cardinals fan. I've been around the team for a long time. This is not fun. And we're going to try to sort this thing out and try to figure out what is to come for this franchise. If there's any hope of turning this season around, doesn't look that way. But after losing 7 in a row, there's a lot of baseball left, is what we might be told here, but we'll try to figure this out. We'll get through it. I'm going to save a lot of Cardinals commentary for when we actually have Ollie Marmol here in a little bit, but just know that, the organization cares about winning. The organization cares about fans. But right now, when things aren't going well, if you take the stance of, hey, let's be patient, or hey, everything is okay, or hey, we're going to be here for the long haul, or whatever. Sometimes no matter what you say, it's just not going to be taken well by a passionate fan base or by media members like myself who live and die with this thing. I mean, so I get it. I'm with you and I understand. And all I'm saying is we got to attempt to get through this thing together. So I'm going to try to do that. But it's been quite honestly, I said this on the podcast Monday morning. I pushed the panic button Sunday, a week ago, when they lost to the White Sox 2 out of 3. It just, it was a prime opportunity for them to capture a series and get on their feet. And it just didn't happen. After losing to the Tigers in that doubleheader with a follow-up that they didn't win, they lose that series. And then you come home, play the White Sox, let's get better. And they lose. And they just don't show any life offensively. That was a tough one, I thought, to take. And we'll see where it goes from here. Losing Wilson Contreras didn't help, et cetera, et cetera. But, excuses are what they are. I mean, the Brewers are banged up too, and they're leading the division. I mean, it is what it is. The Cardinals playing bad baseball. They just cannot get traction. The wheels are spinning. The wheels have come off, actually. So we'll go from there. Now, let me say something very nice about what happened yesterday. City looked incredible. And we're going to talk to Lutz Pfannenstiel about that at 11:15. It's his birthday, by the way. I wish him a happy birthday in about an hour. Lutz celebrating a birthday today. He's the sporting director for City. I was there yesterday, City Park. It was phenomenal. I mean, it's just so much fun to be in there with all the fans. The fans really make the experience. They make the experience at Busch Stadium. They make the experience of the Dome for the Battlehawks, and they certainly make it at City Park. The show is still the stadium and the fans, but that team's good. Klaus scored a couple of goals. He's been on a tear lately. Berkey does his thing. The Rasmus Alm scoring a minute 24 into the game, fastest goal in city history, lighting the place up. People aren't even back to their seats yet after getting a beer and some snacks, and it is on. They held them off 1-0 by halftime, and then they blitz them in the second half after the equalizer in the first minute of the second half by Chicago. They win it 3-1. Great team, fun to watch. We got a really good product here in St. Louis City SC. Battlehawks, tough injury. A.J. McCarron has a left ankle injury. We'll find out the severity of that maybe a little bit later today. Anthony Beck, their head coach, is going to address the media at 11:30. We're going to be talking to John Mozelaik at that time, but we certainly will relay any news that Anthony passes along. 11:45, Dan Reardon on the PGA Championship, which is coming up on Thursday, not too far from here. Short drive to Louisville, Kentucky, if you want to snag a ticket to the PGA Championship and see Tiger. Who knows how much longer he's going to be playing in these majors. And then finally, we're going to hear from Drew Bannister, the coach of the Blues. He is going to be on the show at 10:45 this morning. And congratulations to him. He gets a 2-year deal to be the permanent head coach. I know that didn't move the needle necessarily and didn't cause ripples and make, Wilson Contreras got hurt that same day. So that was the big headline the next day. But for the Blues to settle the coaching position and try to figure out now what their plan is moving forward with their roster, I thought was a significant step. They obviously looked around and decided there's nobody better right now to lead our young players than Drew Bannister, who did a fine job. Not a, Stanley Cup contender type team last year, but got him into the mix there for a little bit and showed some signs of getting some team unity between veterans, young players, and some good young players growing on his watch, like Jake Neighbors and others. So it is promising, but we'll talk to Drew Bannister about that at 10:45. Hey, it's not the end of the world, okay? We're all going to get through this together. We're going to talk to Ollie Marmol in just a couple of minutes, Cardinals manager. We'll have John Mozelaik at 11:30. We'll ask them the appropriate questions. We're going to have, again, Drew Bannister, Lutz Pfannenstiel, Dan Reardon. We'll have you. We'll have me. We're going to have a good time. It's Sports on a Sunday morning. Happy Mother's Day on this gorgeous day on KMOX.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock, masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, and you believed they'd be kept safe. But now you've learned the nursing home has violated that trust. You've discovered bed sores, broken bones, and infections. Your loved one did not receive the care they deserved. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect or abuse, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE. Onder Law, making a difference one case at a time.
If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are two things that you want: certainty and the most money, right? This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Now the Manager's Chat, presented by Siteman Cancer Center. Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
And joining us is the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, Oliver Marmol, is with us from Milwaukee. Good morning, Ollie.
Good morning.
Well, let me start by saying a happy Mother's Day to Amber, your wife and your great family. I know this is a big day for the moms out there, and what a mom she is. I know how much she plays a huge part in the baseball season and in your career.
No doubt. She carries that home while I'm away, and I'm away a lot.
Yes, no doubt about it. This is a tough time. I mean, let's be real. I mean, this is a difficult time. I know you've lost 7 in a row here, and yesterday that's a tough one specifically because I felt like you did start to see some signs of an offensive resurgence. Newt with 3 hits. Goldie got his hit. Gorman had a couple of hits, but that one got away from you. How did that get away yesterday?
Yeah, they beat one of our best guys in Kittredge, and I'll take that matchup any day. The guy's done a really nice job all year. I do agree. We had better at bats. Certain guys are starting to look better. We need more of it in order to start winning some ball games, 1 through 9. But you have a lead and you hand it to JoJo and then you hand it over to Kit in that righty lane, and I'll take Kittredge on Hoskins all day long. Made a pitch and hit it a long ways, man.
Yeah, the pitch actually wasn't too bad, I didn't think.
No, not at all.
Yeah, he just went down and got it and knocked it out of there. And then JoJo, that was a Houdini act that he had there. That bases loaded, nobody out, and giving up just a run's pretty strong there.
Yeah, and you wanted to be able to get 3, and our hope was that we were going to give Gibby 3 hitters there and then bring in JoJo at the lefty. It would have been good to have an out or 2 by that point, but soft base hit, walk, chased Gibby. We went to JoJo. That's a big part of the game where it could get flipped, and he did a nice job of only allowing 1 and getting out of there, and then being able to go back out and get his lefty and hand it to Kittredge for the righty lane. Unfortunately, and Hoskins, he beat us.
And the Cardinals will play today and try to avert this sweep and keep the Brewers off the board and try to get some runs yourself. I know it's a lot of things, Ollie. I know this is a complicated answer, but what has been the reason for this slide? I mean, when you step back and take a look at your club, what are you seeing here?
Offense, man. Simple. They hit a big homer. We need a big homer. We need to be able to score runs consistently to give ourselves a shot. So when you look at kind of certain guys, and I mean, our hope is that they come out of it. We saw some better swings out of Gorman yesterday. It's frustrating for everybody, but man, it's also painful to watch. I mean, Goldie is one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. There's nothing that he can do right now above what he's doing. He is trying to figure it out. He's a big part of our lineup, and we have to be patient with him. But a couple guys are starting to swing it a little better, which is helpful, but we need to have more productive at bats 1 through 9 in order to give ourselves a shot right now. That's what's happening.
Yeah. Looking at Goldie specifically, he is, as you said, almost like a machine at times. I mean, it's incredible, but you know, machines you can unplug and plug back in, or you can reboot them. You know, human beings, it's different. It's complicated. And I don't know what the answer is there. I mean, you talked about how hard a worker he is. Would it be something to have him back off of some things that he's doing, or
we've tried it quite a bit, but yes, you can back off. You can eliminate watching video and just getting a feel for it rather than over analyzing and paralyzing yourself from getting too deep into the weeds. Yes, all of the above. We've checked a lot of those boxes, and right now it's just a little bit of a thought, fan. But what I can tell you is the conversation in that clubhouse is still very hopeful. Listen, we're digging ourselves a hole right now. I get it. Those guys aren't giving in or giving up. It's been crappy when it comes to being able to consistently produce offensively. Our pitchers have done a nice job. Yesterday, we continued to play really good defense. Gorman made some nice play. I mean, it was Donnie with sliding catch. I mean, all of it. But you have to be able to out-hit the other club, and we haven't been able to do that.
No, certainly. And looking, is Goldie going to be in there today in the lineup?
Yeah, Goldie's in there today.
I know he's been batting third. You had him batting fifth. We've talked about shuffling the order. That doesn't always work either, does it?
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah. Shuffling the order and all that stuff. So
you have so many lefties in this lineup. You have to be able to break it up somehow. We've hit him third, we've hit him fourth, we've hit him fifth. Listen, for the St. Louis Cardinals to be the St. Louis Cardinals, certain guys are going to have to do what they normally do. So, yes, you can hit him wherever you want in the lineup. At the end of the day, he's got to be in the meat, being Goldie, and we are going to be patient, and we're going to stand behind him, and he's going to figure it out. This guy's determined. So,
and it's not all on one guy, obviously.
It's not.
No, I mean, it's all up and down the board. I mean, you've had now Gorman, as you mentioned, there were some high expectations. I felt for him coming into this season. There were some expectations for Walker, as young as he is, coming into this season. What are you hearing about Jordan? I mean, would that help you if he could get himself rolling?
Yeah, he's got work to do, and he's down there doing exactly that. He's starting to feel a little better and cover the outer part of the plate. So the reports on him has been he's working hard, but we got to allow him to do exactly that and not disrupt that. He needs to continue to put in the time.
What are you seeing out of Arenado?
Yeah, Nolan, when he hit that 3-run homer several weeks ago, I felt like he started to take better at bats. It's been up and down, but this is another guy that's determined to get back to where he normally. I mean, at the end of the season, he wants his numbers to be what they normally are. He'll have a day off today, and talking to him, we'll use this day game as a rest day, and he'll be ready to go in LA. But yeah, we're gonna need him as well.
Meanwhile, Matt Carpenter walks through the door and gets 2 hits. I mean, I guess he's feeling okay. The oblique is a tough injury, and that if you do one little thing, sometimes it can tweak it. But it sounds like he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. He came through that rehab feeling really good. He feels strong. He's done it before. He knows how to manage it, but he's fully healthy, and look forward to seeing him in there today.
Miles Michaelis starts today. I know there was some discussion about what you were going to do with your starters with Steven Matz on the IL. Matt's starting to throw a little bit, and how do you see this rotation looking moving forward?
Yeah, he won't return this next time around. I'll get more of an update on Matt's here shortly, actually right after this call, to have a better understanding of timeline. But until then, we'll fill that position with Libby.
And then finally, about you. I mean, you and I have talked about you and your job and your expectations for yourself and holding yourself accountable. We also I mentioned it on the telecast last weekend about how Tony La Russa took you aside in the offseason after the writers' dinner and talked about all of those things, about dealing with criticism and about looking inside yourself when things aren't going well. I guess a 2-part question. What did you take out of that discussion with Tony, and what can you do? How do you view yourself, and what can you do to push the right buttons here and get this thing moving forward?
No, the main thing I took out of it, he was very, just very open about, hey, listen, man, there's times in my career where people didn't like me and they wanted me out. And if you win, they'll start liking you. And right now we're not winning. So take your shots, go for it. It's part of the gig. Accountability is a part of the gig. I'll wear it. My job is to do what the St. Louis Cardinals have always done, and that's win. Right now, we're having trouble with that. But that conversation with Tony was good, man. He was very genuine in how he explained it and the ups and downs of his career and how to handle it. He was very encouraging in kind of how he chose to kind of walk me through that. But I was very grateful for our time together.
He used to have this saying. He would look up and say, hey, you either do or you don't in this business.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line. So it does come down to, like you said, this is about winning. If you can find a way, things start to turn. What about moving forward here? Just a little peek at the Angels. I know that you've got a game here today against the Brewers, but the Angels going on the road and then getting out to the West again. It seems like a lot, but the schedule is what it is. I mean, then the travel is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not worried. April, we had a decent amount of travel. I'm thinking about Milwaukee today. And we're day to day as far as just locking into what we can control today and being present for the game ahead of us. And then we'll worry about LA when we get there. The travel is what it is. Other teams are traveling and figuring out a way to win. So we can't use any of that as an excuse. We got to lock it in and start turning this thing around, man.
Are you the type of person that would stand up in front of the team and do a big speech? I'm not saying flip over the table or something like that, but are you that, or are you continuing to send everyone off to do their jobs and do your job and have that sort of trust that they're going to play their role?
No, man. I'm my personality. I can do both. We just had one of those where I laid out my thoughts and very clearly where I think we stood, what we're doing, what we're not doing, and kind of what we need to do moving forward. There's times where you walk guys through it and you're very encouraged, and there's times you get on their ass, and there's a time for both, and we'll continue to stand behind them. I'll tell you that, and place a lot of trust in them because we need these guys to get going. We just need to start doing that sooner than later.
Oliver Marmol is the manager of the Cardinals. Thank you for the time very much. I appreciate it. Good luck today.
You got it, bro.
Thank you. Ollie's with us every Sunday at 10:15, Wednesdays at 9:50, and he's also going to be on the pregame show today, which we will have at 12:15. I'm going to have that one today, Drew. I'm going to do the pregame and post today on this Mother's Day. Let's take a quick time out. Let's go through the rest of the sports of the day. When we return, 10:45, we'll have another coach in town. That's the head coach of the Blues, Drew Bannister, will be with us on KMOX. Back after this.
A staycation doesn't mean you have to stay at home. Enjoy a fun and relaxing stay at St. Genevieve, Missouri. Stay at quaint boutique hotels and bed and breakfast or an Airbnb. Outdoor enthusiasts can enjoy state and local parks, as well as golfing. If you're a history buff, St. Genevieve offers a variety of museums from French colonial to dinosaurs. Or if you want to indulge your palate, St. Genevieve has multiple wineries and fine dining options. Learn more at visitstegen.com. That's visitstegen.com. Produced cooperation with Visit Missouri.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster. No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels has to be New York. Skiing, Colorado, every time. And for psychics, think California Psychics. When you want the best, some places are better than others. That's why at CaliforniaPsychics.com, home of free spirits, big dreams, and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. We connect you with the very best, so we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So whatever direction you want to take your life, you know where to start. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychic.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Ready? What are you ready for?
To call Jerry Kelly Heating and Air.
I thought you already called him.
You have to be kidding me. Jerry Kelly would already be here if I had called.
Isn't that the idea? We need this fixed.
Yeah, but I wasn't ready. They get here too fast.
Jerry Kelly is fast and good. So when you're good and ready, make sure your home is as comfy as can be. Call
JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. And Sunday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
When you retire, you leave a lot behind. The daily grind, the long commute, and yes, even the alarm clock. But the one thing that you take with you, a tax bill. Oh, and did you know that income taxes could be your single largest expense in retirement? Good news, though. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group, they can show you ways to pay less to Uncle Sam with the right tax planning. Join Steve and the team for this exclusive educational workshop focusing solely on taxes in retirement. Join us Tuesday, May 21st or Thursday, May 23rd at Stone Summit. These events are complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
This is a consumer alert to all U.S. taxpayers who owe the IRS back taxes or have unfiled tax returns. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you can now take advantage of active programs that provide relief to struggling taxpayers and may reduce or eliminate what you owe if you qualify. Even if you are facing liens, levies, audits, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, call the Easy Tax Relief Helpline now to check what savings you may qualify for at 800-544-1527. You may qualify to reduce up to 99% of what you owe or for other special programs. Once qualified and enrolled, you can rest assured that your assets are protected and all collection efforts will be stopped. Billions of dollars in savings are available through these relief programs for struggling taxpayers, but you must call to see if you qualify. To see what savings you qualify for, call 800-544-1527. 800-544-1527. That's 800-544-1527.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. 10:35. Drew Bannister, the head coach of the Blues, coming up in 10 minutes. We just had a visit with Ollie Marmol, the Cardinals manager. John Denton of MLB.com was listening because he just tweeted out. Ollie Marmol just told KMOX that Matthew Liberatore will start on Monday against the Angels. Also, Nolan Arenado gets his first day off of the season against the Brewers. Thank you very much for that, John. Ollie Marmol joined us, and you could hear it in his voice. He's having a tough time. And so are you, by the way, and so am I. So that makes all of us. Here are a couple of comments that have come in. This one was just before we had Ollie, but Nathan commenting. This is on our YouTube feed or Twitter feed. Actually, this one came from Facebook, it looks like. Good morning, Tom. To say I'm confused by the DeWitts is an understatement. When Matheny was fired in 2018, Bill DeWitt Jr. said in some places a winning record or even 500 is even acceptable. Not with this city, not with this franchise, not with its history, and not with the fans. But after last year and the current season, where is this same sentiment? Good question, Nathan. And my answer is this. One, they have decided to take a path of unity with the manager, the president of baseball operations, and the owner. That was this little press conference they had in Jupiter when they announced Ollie's extension. It was not to announce, I don't think, that Ollie is going to be the manager through 26. It was to announce that he's extended through 26. And therefore, they weren't letting him, they didn't want to create some sort of dissension between the three of them, that he's wondering about his job and looking over his shoulder. That was more of saying we're all on the same page. Because quite honestly, Ollie Marmol's contract is not that of a Nolan Arenado or something like that. Like, if something were to go wrong and they change their mind, they could make the move and eat the money. I just don't think they're going to do that. I mean, that statement that you're talking about was after they fired Mike Matheny. Mike Matheny was fired late in the summer. Mike Schilt was fired at the end of the season. Let's see, the other firings in the DeWitt regime, Walt Jocketty at the end of the 2007 season. It's not like them to fire a leader like that in May. So that's why. And they certainly weren't going to do it after last year, in which everything kind of went awry. And I don't know that was Ollie's fault that everything went awry last year. I think that was in everything. I think it was roster construction. It was really bad luck, but also bad roster construction on the rotation, in that they gambled. I don't know if it was bad. It was just a bad gamble, that everybody would stay healthy, and it was not the correct decision. So again, Jocketty was fired right after the season in 07. Matheny was fired later in the season in 18. Schilt was fired after the 2021 season. If they were to make a move that drastic, it is not happening on May 12th. It's just not. Now, Nathan said, then you have the comments from Bill DeWitt III. I was thinking somebody was going to mention this. Basically saying only casual fans care about the team's record and only the hardcore fans are showing up and chuckling about it. What are we as fans supposed to take from this and past comments? He's referring to an interview that Bill DeWitt III, the Cardinals president, did with Martin Kilcoyne, which I did not hear in its entirety, but I heard the clips that were being circulated, in particular what he's talking about here, chuckling about fans showing up. I know Bill DeWitt III, and he is a good man. He also has a very calm demeanor. That what I heard there does not stray necessarily from his calm, trust, kind of like everything is okay sort of attitude about him, vibe about him. That is not going to mesh well with a passionate, angry fan base right now, no matter what he says. So I've given the opportunity for the Cardinals to have him on when they would like to come back on and address the fan base. So certainly that request is out there. And of course, they know that. They can come on our flagship station and address the fans in that way. And I would think that just came out wrong. Bill DeWitt III is not a bad person, and certainly does not look down on his own fan base. He loves the fan base. But like I said, sometimes when you have that sort of calm demeanor about you, and right now, I mean, a little drop of gasoline is going to put this thing up in flames because the fan base is on edge. It was just not a good situation, as far as I see it. So fans are starting to react to that certain interview. I wouldn't base everything that you know about the Cardinals and their ownership on one thing. Know that in the big picture, Bill DeWitt III, John Mozelaik, Ollie Marmol, that entire ownership group, by the way, it's not just Bill DeWitt. There's an entire group of owners. They are all dying to win. I mean, they love the fan base. They love the history. But when things aren't going well and you're losing, fingers start to point, and I totally understand that as a fan growing up of the Cardinals and understanding who Cardinals fans are. Cardinals fans expect a certain level of greatness, and it does not mean they have to win the World Championship every year. They want to be in the hunt every year, but they want to do it the right way. They want the fans to be treated the right way, and they believe that they have earned that based on their loyalty over time, and they're not wrong. So, it's an incredible, incredible fan base, and I feel very sad for them, and I feel the pain that they're going through. Don't dare call them spoiled. Don't even. I mean, these fans come in from all over the place. They make a weekend of it. He didn't, by the way. I'm saying that I've heard others say that. It's a great fan base. Nathan, I'm just telling you, I think if he comes on our show, it would sound a little bit different based on now a reaction to that, which I understand the reaction. Because again, no matter what you say, I mean, hey, let's be patient. We'll start to hit. Fans hate it. They hate it. They want it now. They wanted it weeks ago. So it's just the way it is. Look, if you're Alabama football and you lose a few games, same thing. Kentucky basketball, same thing. There's nothing wrong with a fan base that is rabid, that expects excellence, and that wants to be treated as such. So that's the way it is. George said that game yesterday was painful to watch. The offense still can't generate more than 3 runs. And again, the bullpen failed. Then the starting pitcher allows 2 RBIs on a hit by pitch. I'll correct you there. Kyle Gibson allowed 1 on a hit by pitch. He was charged with 2, but he had 1 hit by pitch. Romero had the other. And you can't blame Romero, who got out of a pickle there with the bases loaded and nobody out, ended up bringing in a run with a hit by pitch. Just kind of a weird thing. I said, unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think the Cardinals are going anywhere this season again. I can't disagree with you there. I have no evidence to show you, George, that they're going to turn it around this quickly with no offense. He said there's something wrong in that dugout. Yeah, the something wrong is they can't hit. And I've been down there. I mean, I don't sense anybody disliking each other or, but it's no fun when you lose. It's horrible. I mean, you have to fight your way through it. They're not going to be bouncing around, smacking each other on the back and playing music in the clubhouse. I mean, it's not fun right now, especially when your star just cannot figure it out at all. Arenado for one, but it's Goldschmidt that we're talking about here. An MVP just looks like he can't do it. And that is disconcerting, and that's hard. They're trying to plow through this thing, and everything's happening at once. So I don't think anything is wrong necessarily in the dugout. I think what's wrong is they're not performing. And so that leads to a lot of tough stuff. Kevin says, well, he needs to flip a table or I'm going to soon. Go for it. But Ollie did say that he addressed the team directly and gave a bit of a speech, is what he alluded to, where he talked about the things and the expectations. And I don't know if he lit them up necessarily. That's for them to have within the clubhouse. We also had have a great day, Tom. Thank you from this nice listener who said the problem is there is no heart in the dugout. Wilson's out with a broken arm. Yachty, Waino, and Pujols no longer there. There's heart in there, but it's just not totally happening for this team right now. I appreciate everybody chiming in. Let's take a break. I thought that it was better just to do that, Drew, than to go through NHL and NBA scores. I mean, let's be real. Let's talk about what people are saying about the Cardinals, and let's get serious, kind of like a therapy session. Now, the St. Louis Blues have a permanent head coach. He's Drew Bannister, and he is on the line. We're going to join him next.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/Milo's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
New and reimagined, the 1904 World's Fair exhibit at the Missouri History Museum features a close-up look at the attractions and grounds and a more complete picture of this important moment in St. Louis history. Info at mohistory.org.
Schedule your free tree inspection from Gamma Tree Experts now. I'm Tim Gamma. Our certified arborist and horticulturist are ready to meet you in preparation of the coming season. Winter is always hard on a lot of trees here in St. Louis. If you have a tree that you're really concerned about, let us come take a look at it for free. I'm Tim Gamma. Give me a call at 725-6159. That's 314-725-6159. Your trees deserve the best care from Gamma Tree Experts.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. And here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Broadcasting from the Underlined Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined live by Blues coach Drew Bannister, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for hanging through the break as well. Longer commercial break there for you to hang through, but as you know, we got to pay the bills. So
yeah, thanks for having me, and happy Mother's Day to all your listeners out there.
I appreciate that. Happy Mother's Day to all. And Drew, this is a special time I know for you. You got the call from Doug Armstrong. What was it, last weekend? That the search was over. They were turning to you to permanently take over this team. What was that like?
Yeah, so it's certainly an exciting day for me and my family, and something that obviously I've been working for many years since I've retired as a player and became a coach, and to take that call from Doug, and certainly for me, when I left at the end of the season, my main focus point was removing that interim tag and becoming the head coach of the St. Louis Blues and be able to start fresh with them come next year.
Did you understand that they were doing their due diligence, and did you feel like at that point that you had done enough to earn that job, but at the same time understanding what they were trying to do?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I think, I've been in the business long enough as a player, and I understand the workings behind the scenes, and it's no different as a coach. And, I respect Doug and the ownership and the organization for what they had to do and the process that they went through, and including me in that process. And, for me, I had 52, 53 games to kind of, put myself in a position that I would be one of those coaches that had an opportunity to coach the team and have time to sit down and interview, go through the process and talk about, my experience with the team this year and what I see moving forward.
I think it starts for me when it comes to a coach with the captain. I always like to know what your relationship is like with him. Braden Shen, what is your relationship like with Shenner?
Yeah, I have a great relationship with Shenner, and I think when I first came in, obviously I had a lot of relationships with the younger players that came up through me in the American Hockey League. So when I was coming in, that the easy part for me was seeing the younger faces that I'd spent time with and saw them move from the American League, becoming NHL players. And then digging in on players like Shenner and Robbie Thomas and Jordan Kyrou and the list goes on of the older players, the leadership group and starting to build relationships with them. Shenner and myself have a really good relationship. I saw a lot of strides for him as a leader. And I think, although he's been a veteran player for a long time, becoming a captain at the National Hockey League level is a whole different animal, and how you deal with that and learn and grow from it. And, I think he's done an outstanding job. And I saw his game start to really take off, in the second part of that season. And then I thought, himself as a captain and the rest of the leadership, group did a great job.
Kyrou has so much skill. He can really light up a rink. He's as fast as lightning. How have you seen him continue to develop into being a two-way player?
Well, I was, there were spurts, obviously, when I first came in. There was some things that Jordan went through that we sat down and we had some real good conversations, and he was able to fight through that and come out on the winning end of it, I thought, and play some really good hockey. And I thought, the last 4 to 6 weeks of the season, Jordan played some of the best hockey that I had seen him play at the professional level. Becoming a 200-foot player, engaging in battles and coming up with pucks and staying in the hard areas to support his players. And we saw a player that, not only was responsible defensively, but also contributed offensively more towards the end of the season than what we saw him, earlier on in the season. And then I think that bodes well for him moving forward. He certainly has a lot of offensive attributes, and I thought his attention to detail defensively really came along towards the end of the season and really good things happened for him. So I think he left this year, obviously being disappointed in where we were, and not being able to make the playoffs and be as close as we were. But I think he made good strides in his game, and I think he should feel confident about that.
We could go right down the roster, but with time constraints, there's a player that excites me, and I know the fans like him too, and he's kind of like an old school, old soul type player. I don't see a lot of flaws in Jake Neighbors' game. Now, you see him a lot closer than I do, but that career looks very promising, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. And you're right. Like he's an old school type player that plays a very direct north-south game. I think if you look at where he scored his goals, a lot of them are around from the blue paint. He does a lot of work for his teammates, defensively responsible, plays a heavy, hard game along the walls. For a young player, his details are outstanding. And he has such great character and leadership qualities and so well liked, comes to the rink with a smile on his face every day, puts in the work. And for a young player, really growing and becoming, a difference maker for our team.
Couple of things left for Drew Bannister, the head coach of the St. Louis Blues. Protecting leads, your defense, and of course, we all know about your starting goaltender, Jordan Binnington, not to mention your adequate backup. But on defense, how do you see things lining up for the 2024-25 season? Do you like what you see?
Well, I think we saw, Colton Parayko take amazing strides in his game from the previous year. And I just thought he was an absolute beast for us when I came in and just he was so dynamic in what he did. and his partner, Lutz did a great job. You have a guy like Matthew Kessel that came up and played quality minutes and tough minutes, with some of the injuries that we had, for a younger defenseman to come in, that's a right shot to be able to play in the top four and show the way he did. Now, did he have some ups and downs? Most certainly, but, he went down to the American League, was able to get his game back on track, and then he came back up and played extremely well for us. Falker, struggled with some injuries, so obviously his health is going to be a priority because he's a big part of our game. And Kruger, I really like the way Kruger plays. Like, I think he's a highly competitive guy. He cares about his teammates. He wants to win. He gets caught, unfortunately, because we rely on him a lot. In certain situations, when the goalie's pulled, that, a lot of times he's out there for a minus and he has nothing to do with it. But here's a guy that competes hard every day, is a great teammate, leads by example, wants to be better, wants to be in St. Louis, and wants to help the team win.
Drew Bannister is the coach of the Blues. I know that has a good ring to it for you and your family, and I really appreciate the time that you've spent on KMOX here in the last 10 minutes. And also looking forward to seeing what can happen with you and the team. And now that this is done, there is work to be done, and you're free to go do that. So I'm sure that's a good feeling. Thanks very much for doing this today.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate you having me on.
Great to have Drew Bannister, the head coach of the Blues, with us. Ollie Marmol, Drew Bannister. That was our 1-2 punch in the 10 o'clock hour. Lutz, Pfannenstiel, John Mozelaik, Dan Reardon. That's what's to come. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX.
What keeps you up at night? If it's a new diagnosis or an aging parent or just being home alone, our St. Louis-based ACM Care can help. Their RNs will listen to you, advocate for you, and get you through this. ACM Care is a nonprofit based right here in St. Louis. They've been helping St. Louisans for over 24 years, and they want to help you too. The first call is free. You can reach them at 314-293-0697 or acmcare.org, or Google them. ACM Care will get you care.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
KMOX KECK HD2 St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis. This is KMOX, always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Monica Ricks. Russia is now ramping up attacks against Ukraine following a deadly attack this morning in Belgorod. Ukraine allegedly shelled a 10-story apartment building, killing at least 7 people there. Crews now digging through debris for possible victims buried by the rubble, and they're working quickly over fears it'll collapse. U.S. lawmakers are sounding off on Israel, which has now notified Palestinians in Rafah to get out before it expands its offensive there against Hamas. Democratic Delaware Senator Chris Coons.
What matters is whether the next stage of this conflict against Hamas, which Israel has every right to carry out, allows for civilians to get out of the way of any future attack on Rafah.
He was on ABC's This Week. UNICEF spokesperson Tess Ingram also on the program. She called the situation in Gaza horrific.
When we talk about having safety for people, it's not just safety from the bombardments that they need. It's also a safe place to go to, and the places where people are being told to move to are completely unsafe.
Meantime, Secretary of State Antony Blinken's preparing to present a new report to Congress this week that could have serious international implications for Israel.
On CBS's Face the Nation, Blinken told moderator Margaret Brennan the facts were clear.
When it comes to the use of weapons, concerns about incidents where, given the totality of the damage that's been done to children, women, men, it was reasonable to assess that in certain instances, Israel acted in ways that are not consistent with international humanitarian law.
Blinken said the U.S. and Israel continue to investigate the actions of Israeli troops in Gaza. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Residents have been posting videos on X of a tornado in Finleyville, Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. That twister touched down last night, severely damaging at least 12 homes there. Several people were also hurt at a nearby church. Former President Trump's now blaming President Biden for his legal troubles, and some Republicans agree. Ohio Senator J.V. Vance weighed in today on CNN.
This is a sham trial where they're saying his misdeed is that he violated the law, that he committed a crime. You can't throw somebody in prison in the middle of a presidential election because you think that he did something bad 10 years ago.
Former fixer Michael Cohen set to testify in Trump's hush money trial tomorrow. He dealt with the payments at the heart of this case meant to influence the 2016 election. And Swiss singer Nemo has won Eurovision. He's the first non-binary winner of the song contest and beat finalists from 24 other countries last night with his song, The Code. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11:03, we have sunny skies and 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story this hour, a child is shot by a stray bullet from an AR-15 in North St. Louis County.
County police say a food delivery driver met with the suspect on Thursday morning to trade weed for an AR-15, but the man turned the gun on him and stole the drugs. They planned the rendezvous earlier in the week when the driver had dropped off an order at the house on Chalmers Road. After stealing the weed, the gun owner made another order on the food delivery app the same day, and the same driver showed up. This time he had his family in the car. When the driver walked towards the door of the house, 6 shots rang out, and one of the bullets went through the car and struck the driver's 2-year-old son. 24-year-old Deshaun Harlan, a previously convicted felon, is facing numerous charges for the shooting. He's being held on a $500,000 cash-only bond. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
A woman was shot in the head near the Forest Park to Bolivar Metrolink station. Police say it happened about 3:30 yesterday afternoon. No word on a suspect. The woman was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. 4 stations closed for a couple of hours during that investigation. Governor Pritzker's plan to create a new state agency for early childhood programs in Illinois is going forward. It has passed the House.
Capital News Illinois reports right now the programs are run by 3 different state agencies.
Senate Bill 1 would take those programs and services and put them all under a new Department of Early Childhood. That process would take place over the next 2 years. Sponsors say by consolidating things into one agency, the state can create more efficiency, transparency, and ease of access for families and providers. The bill now heads to the governor, where he is expected to sign it. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
It's a Mother's Day tradition. Today is the 37th annual art fair at Lohmeyer Sculpture Park. Admission is $10, and the event goes till 5 this afternoon. And it is going to be a gorgeous afternoon for that. High of 85, overnight around 64, maybe a passing shower. Then it's going to cool off a bit this week. Temperatures in the low 70s for tomorrow and Tuesday in the upper 60s. Both days we do have the possibility of showers and storms. Right now it is 78 in St. Peter's, 80 in Florissant. We have 75 downtown. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. Really appreciate all your participation. If I could talk, really appreciate all of your participation today. A lot of people commenting now that they know that I'm reading the comments on the live stream. So I'm going to get to those in just a moment. Ollie Marmol was on last hour. I thought it was a good conversation, heart-to-heart talk about what's going on. He said it's offense. He also held himself accountable. He did tell us that he gave a speech to the team. He also told us that Matthew Liberatore is going to start tomorrow, and he told us that Ollie Marmol is getting a day off today. Matt Carpenter is leading off and DHing today. Matt Carpenter is leading off for the Cardinals. He has a .357 batting average. And I don't mind it. I mean, let's get someone who can get on base and make contact to lead off. Arenado getting the day off today. Here's the lineup. Nootbaar playing right field, batting second. Goldschmidt's in there again at the third spot in the order and playing first base. Ollie, in that discussion about Goldie, told me, they've already tried that, moving around in the order. They're not going to drop him down. So Goldie's just going to have to work it out. I asked him about maybe backing off the hard work that Goldie is doing. He said, we've tried that. So they're trying everything with Goldie, but it just isn't working. Struck out 4 times yesterday. Did have a hit late in the game, but still waiting for that spark and then eventually a fire. I mean, we've seen it enough from Goldschmidt, but this is a long, long stretch. This has been difficult to watch. Anyway, rest of the lineup. Alec Burleson's playing in left field and cleanup today. Nolan Gorman's going to bat 5th. He's at second base. He had a couple of hits yesterday. Ivan Herrera is catching, and he is batting 6th. Brendan Donovan is playing third base, batting 7th. Brandon Crawford will be the shortstop today and bat 8th. And Michael Ciani is the center fielder, batting 9th. So it goes Carpenter, Nootbaar, Goldschmidt, Burleson, Gorman, Herrera, Donovan, Crawford, Ciani. With Carpenter as the DH, Nootbaar in right. He had 3 hits yesterday. Burleson in left. Donovan at third base for Arenado. Michaelis, the starting pitcher. Wilson, the starter for Milwaukee. This team is awful. They're going nowhere. Sell the whole team, says Seth. That was one of the comments on there. Okay, Seth. And then he goes on, though. He's got more. For whatever reason, they won't play for Ollie. Look for what the Phillies did in 22. They fired Girardi and went on a run. Okay, Seth. And they had a pretty darn good roster to accommodate. They also, you could look at the Nationals. I know a lot of people like to look at the Nationals, who didn't make a move necessarily that did this, but they got off to a bad start. They had a pitching staff, though, that was pretty lights out in 2019 that went on to the World Series. For that Phillies team, it's an interesting comment, and it is true that did happen. I just, the Phillies had some pretty good firepower that I'm not sure the Cardinals have right now. Who else? I don't think Marmol has a good grasp on being a manager, says Country Pace, who's been commenting very nicely. I don't know. I think he's a young manager who has won a division, who is now faced with a very difficult decision he's going to have to hold himself accountable for, even with the offense sapped right now and he can't hit. He's responsible for it. So he is in a very tough spot, and it's just part of growing as a manager. It's all happening to the Cardinals all at once. Texas Theater says some of us are having flashbacks to the 70s. The 2020s are looking like real challengers to that dark decade. Boy, I hope it doesn't last a decade. The only good things out of the 70s were Bob Gibson's no-hitter in the early 70s, Lou Brock's incredible run to record books, Ted Simmons being an amazing player, and there was more than that, but the 70s were dark, and the team did not make a postseason run during that time. Although if the MLB postseason was like it is today, maybe it'd be a little different. But anyway, we need Yachty's face, country pace again. We need Yachty's face in the dugout as manager. That will lift a lot of spirits. How about just Yachty in the dugout? Let's start there before we promote him to manager. I mean, if he's going to be the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, he's got to take on a ton of responsibility, be the face of the organization, talk to the media 4 or 5 times a day. So far, how about let's just get him to the Cardinals first and then go from there. Mo is going to ask for patience, says Seth. Yeah, he might. He's done that pretty much every time we've talked to him, but maybe not. Maybe he's run out of patience. We're going to hear from him at 11:30. Fire Marmol, please. It's necessary. Otherwise, this organization will continue to fall years behind. I will say this is an organizational issue. I think they need to look within themselves. I think that already started after last season to review and get some outside eyes, and I would continue to do that. I would be adding people from all over Major League Baseball, and I would overpay for their services. Go to the Orioles and find out how they are doing things. They seem to be going along just fine. Go to some of the pitching analysts with the Dodgers. They seem to land pitchers left and right. And it's not all about money for the Dodgers. They do a really nice job. Their pitching's pretty strong. Let's ask them and steal one of their people. Let's steal someone from another team that's doing really well, whoever that may be, and bring them in. It doesn't always have to be what the Cardinals have done. It might be time that philosophy needs a major tweak, and it could come from outside eyes, and that's totally fine. That's where I stand on all of that. Good comments, though. Really appreciate the participation. I had someone else that chimed in on Twitter. Let me see if I can find him. Said that I was making an excuse for Bill DeWitt, and I said I'm really not. Where is it? Oh, Mr. DeWitt meant exactly what he said regarding the casual fans not showing up to support the team. He may well be a nice guy, but both things can be true. Please stop making excuses for this organization. And I responded to the individual, I promise I'm not. It's just that he would be the last person I'd pick to take on the fans. But I do appreciate the comment. That's what I'm saying. It takes me by surprise, and I do think it's just gasoline on fire. When you're calm and you're trying to look at this thing and you're not, throwing things against the wall, which he is not going to do, that doesn't look good. And I think that things can be said sometimes that you don't mean, or you don't know necessarily that the reaction is going to be that strong. So yes, I am giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not making excuses for the organization. They are in a very difficult situation right now, and changes are going to need to be made moving forward. But I don't see Bill DeWitt III as being anti-fan. I mean, he's about as pro-fan as any of them. Again, he'd be the last person I'd pick to take down the fans in any respect. So that's all I'm saying. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director, St. Louis City SC. What a night they had. Back in a moment. I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We're focusing on head and neck cancer, and joining me is Dr. Sid Perham, surgical oncologist at Siteman.
We're really lucky at Siteman that we have a fantastic multidisciplinary team to kind of work together to give the patient the most comprehensive plan. One of the first head and neck tumor centers in the country.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Whatever electrical needs you have, repair, service, replacement, call on Reinhold Electric. A live person will answer the phone call and they'll set you up with an electrician. If you need an estimate, absolutely free from Reinhold Electric, you will actually talk to a live estimator. No job is too big or too small for Reinhold Electric. Reinhold Electric, for all your electrical needs in residential, commercial, and industrial, call 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric.
Hi, I'm Mark Cuban, entrepreneur, businessman, and TV fan. People always come to me for investment advice. So here's a quick tip for you. Stop overpaying for cable and switch to Philo. What's Philo? It's the best way to watch more than 70 of your favorite channels and save big on your monthly bills. You can stream top channels like AMC, A&E, Discovery, Live, and On Demand. Philo's also got a library with thousands of hours of movies and shows just waiting for you. Plus, an unlimited DVR that lets you save all your favorites and rewatch them for up to 1 year. All of this for just $25 a month. You don't need me to tell you that this is a deal you need to make. Philo, now and forever.
Head on over to philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. And start your 7-day free trial now.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Cardinal Cowboy here for Renner Garage Door. Are you tired of your outdated garage door? Well, we does that. Top-notch service or repair? We does that too. Renner's the leader when it comes to new garage doors and smart LiftMaster openers. Serving greater St. Louis and surrounding areas since 1966. You know the name forward and back. RENNER. Whether it's residential, commercial, or repair, Renner does that. Call or click today. RennerDoorSTL.com. The garage door company that does. Giddy up!
There's a new addition to the Audiology Center. Charlie Brennan here along with Dr. Colleen Bosler.
We are so excited to be welcoming Dr. Adam Voss to the Audiology Center. He went to SLU High School, and then he went on to University of Missouri in Columbia, where he earned his undergraduate degree, and then Washington University School of Medicine, where he earned his doctorate in audiology. He's been practicing as a clinical audiologist for the last 7 years, and we look forward to bringing him on to the Audiology Center. Outside of audiology, he enjoys spending time with his wife and 2 daughters, and he loves golfing, playing music, or cycling. Dr. Voss is an expert in hearing aid technology, custom hearing protection, and oral rehabilitation.
And so now it's Dr. Colleen Bosler, Dr. Gilbert Fahn, and Dr. Adam Voss at the Audiology Center. 636-441-7470 in Florissant, St. Peters, and Creve Coeur, and the Audiology Center, STL.com.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Mahotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. We have Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director, St. Louis City SC, joining us in a matter of seconds. A great win for City yesterday. Final score was 3-1. Let's take a listen, shall we? We've been talking so much about this ball club that you got to remember there's a soccer club that is looking outstanding, and this goal happened very quickly.
He dismisses it to the fire end, and it falls to Ross Bussalm about 40 yards from the goal. He takes a shot, front to the box, he scores! Oh, Ross Bussalm! City leads!
That was exciting. It was great to be in the house for it. Then the equalizer just after halftime, and then this.
Marcanic pushes Arrigoni away from the ball, restarts it quick, gives it to Celio down the left channel, dueling one-on-one with Arrigoni. He's yanking his jersey. Pompeo stops at the end, like, pass back to Klaus! And Klaus somehow boots it home! Oh, baby! Show out, Klaus! City lead!
And minutes later, this.
Oostrom triangulates down toward the end line for Durkin, swoops across, Klaus header! It's in the back of the cage! Goes near post! And Klaus is bracing tonight!
Yes, he is. Klaus scored his team-leading 4th and 5th goals of the season, all of his goals coming in the last 7 matches. A 3-1 win for City over the Chicago Fire. And joining us as sporting director, Lutz Pfannenstiel. Happy birthday, Lutz. How you doing today?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. It was a great birthday present the boys gave me yesterday already.
Yeah, no doubt. I was there. It was an honor to do your pregame on radio yesterday and then to take in the match. It took me a minute, 24 seconds before I saw a goal from Alm. Fastest goal in city history. That was a lot of fun to get you started.
Yeah, perfect start. I mean, we knew we want to come out from the changing room very aggressively, trying to really give the tact what we want to do. And then, of course, Rasmus, who is for me one of the most important players we have in the squad. The stats when he starts are unbelievable, And again, yeah, he hits a screamer, dipping shot, keeper maybe a little bit far off the line, but we take it 1-0 up, and I think it just was a great setup because the first half we really dominated. We created so many chances, but just couldn't find the second goal.
You did. You were pressing them and creating all kinds of chances, and then came through in the second half. Klaus is on fire right now, and isn't it something to think back that a year ago he was injured, and we were all wondering when he was going to come back and how much we missed him, and now we see why. He is something else, Lutz.
Yeah, it's important for him to be healthy. We always knew that if we have a healthy Klaus for the biggest part or most of the part or the whole season, then we will get goals. I mean, that's something what I knew when we signed him, that he has I will call it an inbuilt goal guarantee, which is very good for a center forward. And yeah, the 2 goals yesterday, very smart. The first one was a typical Klaus goal. He was already too far up and then somehow used his long legs to volley it into the net. The second one, a great header. But yeah, you just said it, scoring now already 5 goals this season. The stats are getting better. He had a bit of a dry spell in the start, but it's I never questioned it that he will not score. I know he's a double-digit guy, and I believe that in the weeks to come, he still will score plenty of goals.
You had a chance to play on that new turf on Thursday. You trained on it, getting a little adjustment going, getting a good feel for it. How did it what were the reviews after playing 90-plus minutes yesterday?
Well, the review is we won 3-1, so I don't have anything to complain about that.
Yeah, I hear you. No doubt about it. As for the rest of this team, it is right back at it on Wednesday. So you have a quick turnaround here to get yourself going, but I'm certain that you have prepared for such grueling tasks ahead. You have Wednesday and then again this weekend, Lutz.
Yeah, 2 difficult games. I mean, 2 of the top teams in the country for sure. LAFC, well, we know them well. We had them last year. 2-0 at home, they won yesterday 3-0 against Vancouver with Bouanga, probably the best striker in the country. But it's a home game. The fans gave us yesterday again that ultimate push. I think we dominated the whole game, and that's the way we want to play again on Wednesday. Shows straight away who's the owner of that beautiful stadium in downtown, and hopefully another 3 points. Cincinnati on Saturday away. Different kettle of fish again, but let's focus first on LA. It's a great team. It's a spectacular game. I think we can expect there, and I'm really positive that we can keep our unbeaten streak.
Watching your team yesterday, there's so many players that I keep an eye on as you do, and I really like Durkin. I mean, Chris Durkin is a special player, and I know that he got a little more involved offensively, but eventually he was going to. I mean, he's all over the place. I mean, he's going to be somewhere at some time in the right spot, but he did look a little more offensive minded yesterday to me.
Yeah, I think he has St. Louis City SC philosophy written all over him. He's a warrior. He fights. He's feisty. He works hard, and he's a good footballer on top of that. So definitely a transfer which I'm really happy about. And yeah, as more as he gets, as longer as he's here, as better he gets. Same again. If you talk about the players who played outstanding, of course, Klaus you mentioned, but also the performance of Thomas Ostrak, not just yesterday, but the whole season as a number 6 is unbelievable. He's a bit of the unsung hero because he does all the dirty work. He picks up the ball steep. Is always on his bike, works very well. And of course, Totland on the right side, I think it's just a pleasure to watch him as well. But, let's be fair. I think everybody yesterday, the 5 guys who came on and the 11 guys who started, it was a great team performance. It's a bit unfair to pick out 1, 2, or 3. Everybody did his job. Everybody contributed to a great victory and a great night. And I think that we have to look at it. That I'm not about individual players. I'm always all about the team and the club. And I think that must be our way, and it will be our way in the future.
This is Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director for St. Louis City SC. Blom was not used yesterday, but he was available, right? So he's obviously getting a little bit better. And what's the update on Leuven?
Yeah, so he came back now, Blom, from his injury. He would have been available for, I would say, more like for a few minutes, because also Jay Nowinski, he was ill, so he just got like a cold or a flu overnight. We didn't want to risk it to mix him up with the other players. And yeah, Edu will be hopefully involved now in the next game. So there is still a few things we're working out on him. And yeah, I think that's the topic, Tom, we will talk about next week.
I got it. And we certainly will do that. Always looking forward to the next visit with you, Lutz Pfannenstiel. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your birthday. Congratulations on a win. It is a 5-game unbeaten streak now for City. 3 wins, just 1 loss, and 7 draws.
Thank you.
Absolutely. There he is, Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director, St. Louis City SC, kind enough to join us on this Sunday morning. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Hey, before we go to John Mozelaik, let me jump in. While City was playing up the road, I should say, just down the road at Enterprise Center, they were packed yesterday for UFC Fight Night. Drew Young was there for KMOX. And what did you see in terms of atmosphere? I heard some people that were absolutely blown away by the presentation.
Yeah, I was blown away. Shout out to the guys at Enterprise Center. They put on a good show. UFC does their thing, super professional. Asked Dana White about the atmosphere. He said it was electric, and he said they could even bring a pay-per-view here. And he said the perception from the fighters, from the organization, they see St. Louis, they said clean city, good people, sports town. So it's good to have that perception, even though we had, multiple things going on during the weekend. But
yeah, we sure did. And a big audience, I'm sure, paying attention to it. So that's good for St. Louis in terms of exposure. But Drew, can you explain, I'm going to ask you about the St. Louis guys and how they performed yesterday, but can you explain the appeal of UFC, not only in our country, but around the world right now, people paying attention, especially in the U.S. How big? Can you explain how big it is right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's just as big as boxing. Internationally, you get behind your country, you have a guy fighting for your country. It makes you root for it that much more, especially like just having St. Louis guys fight on a St. Louis card. We had 4 yesterday, 3 wins from the St. Louis guys. I don't know. It's just something different about combat sports that gets you hyped up,
All right. Absolutely. And among the St. Louis guys, what was the biggest takeaway from you? I mean, I can't imagine something that big and winning in your hometown.
Yeah. So similar to St. Louis City SC, the soccer team, there was STL chants yesterday, electric, probably the loudest I've ever heard in arena. So, and we'll get into the St. Louis guys. So Charles Johnson, the pride of St. Louis is his nickname. He put on a show yesterday. My guy, Joaquin Buckley, co-main event, put on a show, and he had a tough fight. He could fight a higher ranked guy, but it was more important for him to fight in front of his hometown. And then also asking Dana about that last night, Dana was like, most guys don't want to fight in their hometown because you got everybody asking you for tickets, a lot of distractions, and then, if you lose in front of your family and in front of your friends, that's huge. So atmosphere was electric. Our St. Louis guys showed out yesterday.
Drew, nice job. Great to have you there representing us, and excited that the place was packed and sold out, and the downtown had a great 1-2 punch with City and UFC.
Absolutely.
Drew Young, our producer here on Sports on a Sunday Morning. We're sponsored by Gray Bar. When we come back, Cardinals president of baseball operations, John Mozelaik, on KMOX.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
This is a consumer alert to all U.S. taxpayers who owe the IRS back taxes or have unfiled tax returns. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you can now take advantage of active programs that provide relief to struggling taxpayers and may reduce or eliminate what you owe if you qualify. Even if you are facing liens, levies, audits, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, call the Easy Tax Relief Helpline now to check what savings you may qualify for at 800-544-1527. You may qualify to reduce up to 99% of what you owe or for other special programs. Once qualified and enrolled, you can rest assured that your assets are protected and all collection efforts will be stopped. Billions of dollars in savings are available through these relief programs for struggling taxpayers, but you must call to see if you qualify. To see what savings you qualify for, call 800-544-1527. 800-544-1527. That's 800-544-1527.
The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to the practice. He joins Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer as the Doctors' Doctors. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
The mountains came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed and we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said. Call Cherry Kelly, man, CherryKelly.com. Give him a call even though it's late. CherryKelly.com. Cause Jerry Kelly's always open up until late. That's certified technicians, I've been told. Will help you when it's hot and help you when it's cold. CherryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. CherryKelly.com.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or to download the app today.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
When our truck stops in front of your home, you'll know it's there.
Because you'll feel magic in the air.
Things are about to get a whole lot better.
In fact, they're about to be wonderful.
We brought you a whole truckload of magic
and fresh air freedom.
All you have to do is point.
You'll see the magic with your eyes.
When that junk disappears.
And you'll feel the fresh air freedom
throughout your body.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
When that dull junk is gone, all your cool stuff will sparkle.
You'll feel the magic of it on your face.
And it will make you smile.
You'll see big clean rooms.
And it will make you dance.
You'll call your friends.
Because you'll want them to see it and feel it too.
You're going to want to share that fresh air freedom with everyone.
Because you are a delightful person.
When you're ready to unleash the delight,
call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. It's 11:33 on this beautiful morning. Happy Mother's Day to all. And joining us is the president of baseball operations of the St. Louis Cardinals, John Mozelaik. Mo, good morning and happy Mother's Day to Julie and your great family. I know that moms and wives make things better. And certainly in this business, it is never easy. And what a role they play in all of our lives.
Well, thank you, and I will share that with her. And yeah, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
The Cardinals fans are having a tough time. I know the Cardinals are. I know that everybody is having a tough time with this. It's a 7-game losing skid for the club. Let me start just with a general question. What are you seeing out of this team and why this is happening?
Yeah, I guess my answer there would be I feel like we have to play the perfect game to win. In other words, our margins are just so small because we're just not putting up consistently enough runs to give us any type of breathing room. So you see over the last week, it seems like just one little mistake ends up compounding situations, and then we find ourselves behind. trying to play catch up and just not able to do it. So, and that's a tough place to be. It's not something that you really want to see happen. Obviously, right now we have a team that's pressing. They know they're not blinded by the fact that they're quote competing and trying to win. There's no medals for effort. It's pretty simple. You gotta win. You try to stop losing. And again, when I look at this club over the last few weeks, that's really what I see.
Yeah, you either do or you don't in this business, as Tony La Russa would famously say. And I talked to Ollie last hour. I thought we had a good heart-to-heart conversation here, as you and I are doing the same. And Ollie said to him, it really comes down to offense. I mean, they're just not hitting. I mean, is it that simple? And there is no simple fix, I wouldn't imagine.
Well, again, when your margins are so small, everything else has to go. You can't have little things where you give up and out, or you give them free bases or something, because when you're not scoring, it just gets magnified. So, yeah, I certainly feel like you don't have to be a baseball expert to understand our offense is not producing enough to be successful right now. And it's head scratching, because when you think about the group of players we're talking about, I don't think any one of us would have thought we would have seen this level or lack of production from so many people. And, I think anybody that watches baseball throughout the year, there's always sort of ups and downs, there's slumps. There are times where hitters go cold, but it's very rarely where you see 5, 6, 7 guys go cold. And that's the part that I think is, has us all just trying to figure out, what can we do differently?
Yeah, that is the question. Is that from your position, president of baseball operations, what can you do right now? I mean, can you do something that would change the course of what they're doing? I mean, fans are going to ask for change, no matter what that is, because they want to feel like the organization is as urgent and upset as they are. Does that satisfy your fan base?
I don't know if that would or wouldn't. And, I think right now we're trying to figure out, if we were to do something, what would it look like? Obviously I think a lot of people ask me, well, go trade for a hitter. But, that's not always something that's easily done. I know there was a trade recently. Not sure that we would have necessarily been able to part with the same type of prospects to make that happen anyway. But so, at some point we've got to decide what's the best path for us and what does that look like. And I assure you, we're talking about it endlessly. We're beating ourselves up over it. And we certainly want to change our trajectory, and we want to do anything we can to make that happen.
Looking at Goldschmidt specifically, that one is confounding because, as you said, he has such a great track record. What do you see from him specifically? And you know him so well. I mean, he's wearing this hard. Well,
yes, and I mean, typically a great player and equally a great person. I think the situation he's in right now, and I feel like when hitters are struggling, they find themselves in 0-2 counts always. So they're already in a sort of a defensive minded. And then I think they're in between, either swinging through fastballs, taking fastballs, and then chasing off speed. And I think, that's not a good recipe for success. And, ultimately we got to figure out what's the best way to get some of these guys going again. And you bring up Goldie. I mean, I know he's working tirelessly, but maybe the answer is less. So we're going to keep tinkering. We're going to keep trying, and hopefully we can get this right.
Maybe that does help. Maybe have him back off a little bit from his incredible work ethic. John Mozelaik, of course, is with us as he is every Sunday at 11:30, and you're taking a lot of heat. Everybody is. The ownership, you, Ollie, Marmol. There's no doubt. Players. How do you see Ollie through all of this right now? What is your evaluation of your manager?
Well, I think it's these are times that are difficult. I still think he understands the job. I think he knows how to manage. I think he's trying to put the right combination of players in. But, at some level, you got to have some performance. And, I understand, like, fans are not happy with myself. They're not happy with Ollie. I don't think anything I say here today is going to change that. So I think we have to just keep trying to go back and try to get this to work. And, look, we understand if it doesn't, then, people are going to be held accountable. And, ultimately that starts with me.
What about moving forward with your rotation? Just looking at some housekeeping stuff here. He told me, Ollie did, that Matthew Liberatore is going to get a nod here coming up, just another spot in the rotation.
Yeah, obviously we had some flexibility early on when we always had that Thursday off day. And then when Matt's went down, now ultimately we got a backfill for that. And Libby's going to get that opportunity. So, hopefully he can take the ball and run with it. Because obviously the rest of our starters have been doing pretty well, giving us chances to win, and that's all you can ask for.
Wilson Contreras, I understand the surgery went well, and timetables I know are always tough to roll out because you just don't know. But as he recovers from that, what are you seeing?
I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
The bone was fractured. It was plated. Hopefully the next 6 to 8 weeks go well for him, and he can, regain strength, have normal mobility, and then, depending on where he's at that point, we'll kind of have a better feeling for when he might return. And, look, that's a tough loss when, your most productive hitter in a lineup that's not hitting is now not part of it. So the question is will some of these guys that get this opportunity step up and run with it? That's certainly our hope, but there's no guarantees.
How is Jordan Walker doing, Mo?
I think he's progressing. I think the most important part is he's playing every day. He's getting at bats, and that's really what he needs to do, because trying to learn and make adjustments at the big leagues is difficult. And last year he did have some early offensive success, if you will, at the big league level, but this year clearly he got off to a slow start. He's not doing anybody any good. He's not doing himself. He's not doing the team, where all we're doing is simply just putting him back out there to hopefully get it right. So using Memphis for a reason, and that's why you have a AAA, and hopefully he can make some positive steps forward, and we're starting to see that a little bit. And, hopefully we see Jordan back here in a not too distant future.
John Mozelaik, we always appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us today, and best of luck today against the Brewers. We'll have the game here in a little over an hour. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Tommy.
John Mozelaik with us on KMOX. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into a little more baseball and also get to Dan Reardon, the senior golf editor of KMOX Sports Department for a long, long time. The PGA Championship is coming. And we'll get some thoughts on what John Mozelaik had to say right there after this.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Make reservations for the 2024 Women of Achievement Award Luncheon, presented by KMOX. The award luncheon takes place Tuesday, May 14th at the Ritz-Carlton, St. Louis, and celebrates 10 outstanding volunteers from across the St. Louis metropolitan region. Doors open at 11:15, and the luncheon runs till 1:30. Reservations are $60 per person. Sign up now and find out more details at KMOX.com/events.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman for the Bath Authority. If your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold or mildew, broken tiles, you have to call my friends at the Bath Authority. They provide the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer service experience. It comes with a lifetime warranty, and they can install it in as little as 1 day. Call 314-347-0410. Get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com.
Get ready for Live Nation's Concert Week on LiveNation.com from May 8th to May 14th. $25 tickets to over 5,000 shows. Go to Odyssey.com/contest to enter for your chance to win a $2,500 gift card. This is a national contest.
Nobody wants a surprise in their jelly donut. It's toothpaste? That's because the middle is the most important part. At Graybar, we're at the middle of electrical and datacom jobs across the country, connecting installers, facility managers, and business owners with smart solutions for their most challenging projects, which means stocking and delivering crucial products on time and on budget, with no surprises, thanks to our nationwide logistics network. Yep, Graybar does that.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
What keeps you up at night? If it's a new diagnosis or an aging parent or just being home alone, our St. Louis-based ACM Care can help. Their RNs will listen to you, advocate for you, and get you through this. ACM Care is a nonprofit based right here in St. Louis. They've been helping St. Louisans for over 24 years, and they want to help you too. The first call is free. You can reach them at 314-293-0697 or acmcare.org or Google them. ACM Care will get you care.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Onderlaw, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. We know how to handle the insurance companies, and we'll make sure you're compensated for physical, emotional, and financial injuries. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onderlaw today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
When you retire, you leave a lot behind. The daily grind, the long commute, and yes, even the alarm clock. But the one thing that you take with you, a tax bill. Oh, and did you know that income taxes could be your single largest expense in retirement? Good news, though. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group, they can show you ways to pay less to Uncle Sam with the right tax planning. Join Steve and the team for this exclusive educational workshop focusing solely on taxes in retirement. Join us Tuesday, May 21st or Thursday, May 23rd at Stone Summit. These events are complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
Welcome back to the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Well, I would go back and listen to the John Mozelaik interview at 11:30. I think there were some interesting things said. I did hear some urgency in his voice. I did not hear the word patience one time. And it was a good conversation, I thought, with some things that are being discussed behind the scenes with Mozelaik and the front office and ownership, et cetera. It's probably worth a listen. Then we'll have some clips out there a little later. Pregame coming, by the way. I'll run a couple of things there on the way at 12:15. Joining us right now is Dan Reardon. Let's talk some golf. A nice, pleasant subject on KMOX. How are you, Dan?
Doing fine. I'm actually at the Class 5 state championship with 3 players and getting ready for them to go out and play a practice round.
That's awesome. Practice round. Okay. What's coming next for you?
We're at Meadow Lake Acres tomorrow, and the weather forecast is horrible for the next 2 days.
Oh, man. I know. Why can't they just play it today? Move it up. Let's go. Play it today. How are things, Dan? You're getting ready for the PGA Championship. Will you be there at Valhalla?
I will be there at Valhalla. I'm looking forward to it. Although I will say this is my 4th trip to Valhalla, and out of all the major sites that I've visited, even though this will be the 3rd PGA Championship and a Ryder Cup thrown in, I think this is the least impressive venue of all the majors that I've been to.
Well, with that said, I'm coming over. I'm coming over Thursday. What do you think about that?
Well, that's great. And the forecast for Thursday is good, rain on Friday. And I will say, though, in defense of Valhalla, 2 of the 3 major championships, actually all 3, I suppose, have had sort of dramatic finishes. You know, the finish with Rory in the dark is the most recent one. We have Tiger and Bob May, and what previewed what we were going to find from Tiger going forward in his career, because that was back in 2000. And then you had Mark Brooks and Kenny Perry in a playoff as well. So even though I may not like the layout, it's produced interesting outcomes.
No doubt about it. That is a really good memory on your part. I remember all 3 of those vividly. And I was there in 2014 for the race down the line there in the dark. And it was a lot of fun to be at the golf course. And do they serve some bourbon there in Kentucky. Anyway, Dan, I have interest in this PGA Championship also because I'm always looking for that next big story and the career slam that can still be achieved, can it, at the PGA Championship?
It can be, but Jordan Spieth is really not on form. I think he shot 76 yesterday at Quail Hollow, so he's going to have to find some magic if that's going to come to pass. For Rory, it'll be a decade since his last major win. A lot of things that we can look at in terms of this championship in that regard. The youngster, Ludwig Aubert, is struggling with a little bit of knee difficulty. The number 1 player in the world has been out of sight because he's just become a new father. A lot of different kinds of things going into this championship. And I like the fact that the PGA of America still remembers the Midwestern part of this country and brings their championship to this region as well.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that I root for storylines because I'm just going to get right to it. I feel like golf needs something. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's because Tiger is not at his peak anymore, or maybe it's because of the live separation or whatever it is. But golf needs an injection of something. I'm just not sure what it is. Do you feel that way, or do you feel like it's the same?
You know, they're saying about Scotty Scheffler that he doesn't have that kind of electric kind of personality on the golf course, that he's so methodically good at what he does that it doesn't have that kind of same Tiger zip to it. Having said that, we're not going to see that. We don't have those kind of players anymore. I mentioned I mentioned Oberg. He's very much a methodical kind of player. So, for people who love golf, I think golf is in a really good position right now. This is the first major that I can recall where the week before they played a course that was more difficult than the major venue. And they're set up for a great final round today, whether it's Schauffele or McIlroy or whoever it might be at Quail Hollow. I think the game is in a really good position. Why it's not catching on with people as we would hope, I don't have a good answer to that question other than to say these guys are more players than personalities.
No, it's a good answer to that, no doubt about it. And I think that, the sport itself is still a beautiful sport. The courses a lot of times are the show. And in the case of the Masters, that is always going to have appeal. Let's look closely at any challenges for Scheffler. He is far and away the number 1 player in the world. Who do you have as the best chance to tackle Valhalla, especially if we have a little rain? That's going to make that course even longer.
Its reputation is it's a banger's golf course. If you're good off the tee and long off the tee, you're going to play Valhalla well. So if you want to see a preview, look at Rory today at Quail Hollow. He was very good with the driver off the tee at New Orleans. He's been very good this week at Quail Hollow. If he carries that kind of momentum into a course that he's very familiar with, I mean, we can't talk about Tiger in 2000 and his familiarity with this golf course because that's too long ago. But, a decade ago is not a lifetime. And so look for the bangers. And Scheffler has that kind of length. Schauffele, quite honestly. In fact, I'm inclined right now at this point in his career to just pick Schauffele for every major win and eventually be right in that situation. But look for the guys that have length to, particularly early on the golf course, to have an influence on this championship. And in the case of Tiger in particular, that's the flat part of the golf course, the river plain part of the golf course, or the floodplain part of the golf course. Look for Tiger to need to get out and get out early on his round on Thursday. And we assume he will go out early on Thursday, late on Friday, which gives him the greatest amount of recovery time between the two 18s.
Anything else you're looking forward to here in our last minute or so, Dan, at the PGA, aside from me walking into the media center and saying hi to you?
Well, that'll always be exciting. But the other thing I would say is, you mentioned LIV. We do have a guy who is the current PGA champion, Brooks Koepka, returning and coming off of a very good win on the LIV Tour. The only problem with LIV is we don't know the quality of their courses, but we cannot talk about this championship with talking about the guy who is the major championship specialist in Brooks Koepka. So I think it shapes up, like I said, I expect a really good leaderboard, and I expect low scores as well.
Just refresh my memory. Any tips I need to know as I make my way in there? And I'll be in there probably Thursday morning, as early as I can.
Nothing special in that regard. I assume you're shuttling from the media hotel.
Downtown, probably.
Yeah. Nothing special in that regard. It's an easily accessed golf course. I've been there for a long time. And one last thing, they've had a lot of controversy over their membership because it was originally owned in part by the PGA of America, and that no longer is existing. And there was a lot of turmoil within the last 2-3 years about the existing members and new members and how they handle that. So be careful when you're around the members.
Okay. And we definitely have that advice passed along to a lot of St. Louisans, because I know a lot of people listening are going to drive over just like me, maybe even do the Bourbon Trail. I don't have time to do that, but I will be there Wednesday night into Thursday morning to catch the first round of the PGA Championship. Any major within driving distance, I always try, and that is going to be the case here. Dan, appreciate it very much. Thanks for being with us. We look forward to your reporting this week.
Thank you, Tom. Enjoyed it.
And good luck to your team. There's Dan Reardon with us on KMOX. So our entire show, Ollie Marmol, Drew Bannister, Lutz Pfannenstiel, John Mozelaik, and right there, Dan Reardon, available on our Sports on a Sunday Morning podcast page at KMOX.com. We have pregame coming up next. I'll have it for you right here at 12:15.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Smokey the Bear. After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,